Alright, this lesson we're going to review creating a sectional view and adding details for our typical section. So the first thing I need to do is create a new sectional view. I'm going to select my first floor with dimensions as a place to put this sectional view, and I'm going to need to go to my visibility and make sure that under annotation that sections are actually visible, so we can see them. Now I've got some sections from the past here, and I'm going to create a new one just so everybody is familiar with the process. So in order to create a new sectional view, we go to the View tab, we go to Section, and we're going to click and drag. Now it's important the placement of this section relative to your roof. This dotted line represents the depth of view. We don't need it to be any deeper than the window that we've sliced through. I'm going to go ahead and go to that section right now, and I can also expand the width of the section by dragging these blue lines. So this looks like a good section for me to work with. Before I get too far into the section lesson, I want to make sure that my view looks appropriate. The first thing I want to do is go over here to View Scale, and we're going to change it to 1/2 inch equals a foot. It's not going to look any different here, but when we add our text it's going to make a difference. The next thing I want to do is make sure that my levels are at the right height. Now, we did this a long time ago, but I want to make sure that you guys all have this information correct. I'm going to scroll down. The finish grade should be at 0. My foundation should be at, I think you guys have 8 inches. Is that correct? You should have 8 inches. Okay. Your first floor should be at 2 feet 3/8 of an inch. Now, the next one is dependent on your ceilings. If you have 8-foot ceilings, your second floor should be 11 feet 1 3/4 inches. If you have 9-foot ceilings, that should be 12. Okay? Now, the next order of business is to make sure I got to turn off these reference planes. So I'm going to go to my properties of my view, and I'm going to turn off under annotation any of my reference planes. Now you can see that my floors are not associated with the correct level. So I've got to select my floor, and I got to make sure there's no offset with that so that it is sitting at the correct level. Likewise, my first floor should be at my first floor should be associated with the first floor level with no offset. Okay. Now I don't have the level of detail that I need in order to create my detailed view, so I need to go under View, and I need to go to Thin Lines, and then I need to come down here, go down here and go to Fine, and this should now show the floor and wall components, and it does. Now there should be a gap of 3 inches between the bottom of your floor and the top of your foundation, and that gap is going to get filled with a plate, pressure treated sill plate. Likewise, we're going to add some details to these walls as well. We're going to edit these pieces so that they're sitting on top of the I'm going to go back to thin lines there. So my wall should be sitting on top of my subfloor. If yours did not move, we learned how to do that in another lesson, and I can come back and cover that later on. We edited this wall so that it was free to move. We're going to need to do the same thing to this floor system to get rid of that finished floor, which would not want to exist underneath the floor, underneath the wall there. In this sectional view, we should now be able to go to annotate, and this is where I can add the component that I was not able to do before. We needed to be in the annotate tab, and if we go to detail component, we should be able to find dimensional lumber or load some dimensional lumber. So I'm going to go to edit type and load, just to show you how to get here in case you don't have it. Structural framing, wood, dimensional lumber, and we're going to need to put a 2x6 in there. And I'm going to hit overwrite and OK. Looks like we don't need to worry about that because they're already here. Does anybody in this class missing these? No. All right. So let's show you what this is going to look like. We're going to go to a 2x6 and bring one in. And once we've placed it, we're going to select rotate, and we're going to rotate it 90 degrees. And then we're going to grab the move tool. Whoops. I'm going to hit escape. Grab this and grab the move tool, and we want to move it. I'm going to grab the corner here, and I want to put it right in the corner here. That's where that belongs. We'll get rid of the finished floor later on. That's your bottom plate for your wall. While we're doing that, we need to make another copy of that. So there's a couple ways to do it. We can select that and right click. No, we can't. I'm going to select that. I'm going to just try Control C and Control V. Now I've got a copy of it. I placed it right here. I'm going to go to Move, select this corner, and I want to bring that guy right in the bottom of this window. Right there. That represents your rough sill. Okay? Now we need to put one more of those in, so I'm going to hit paste again, and I'm going to grab the move tool, and I'm going to put one at the top of the wall. This one I actually need 2 of them up here because the top plate is a double plate. So whoops, didn't put that in the right spot. Okay, and I'm going to paste one more in, just Control V, and grab my grab my move tool and grab that corner again and put one there. Now I've done some nice work, so I'm going to hit save. Those are top plates, sill plates, and bottom plates. We now want to put our pressure treated sill in. That is the first framing member that goes on our foundation. So I'm going to go to component, and I want to put a 2x8 in for this, and I'm going to place it, and then I'm going to go to rotate And we want to rotate this guy 90 degrees as well. Going to hit escape, and then we're going to grab the modify, move, select that corner and put one right here. Now we've opted for a double sill plate, so I'm going to copy that and hit paste, and then I'm going to grab my modify, select this guy and hit move, and we're going to grab that corner and put it right there. Now, assuming your foundation was drawn in the right location, assigned to the foundation level, the first floor was assigned at this height, all of these things should start to shape up like this. I want to throw a little insulation in this wall, so I'm going to come up here and grab my insulation. I'm going to set my width to 5.5 if it's not already 5.5. So I'll put in 5.5 inches. I'm now going to select the middle of this sill plate and go down to the middle of my bottom plate, and I'm going to hit escape. Now I've got some insulation in there. Whoops. Oh, how did I get there? So if you haven't followed me, I'm going to save this recording and you can go back and play it at your own rate. What we need to do next is add some leaders and text so that people can identify what these items are. Now you have a sheet in front of you that you're going to be able to use to identify these pieces. So let's go ahead and add a couple of leaders in. So you're going to go to the text tool up here, and then you're going to hit this format option, and you're going to hit the double segmented leader with the text justified at the bottom right. Now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to select my foundation, and I'm going to come out here and I'm going to click and then click again, and then I'm going to type in 10-inch concrete You guys probably can type much faster than I can. Ten-inch concrete foundation. Okay. I have modified my text, or I would like to. I should say, I would like to modify my text. So I'm going to select this text, and we're going to go to Edit Type, and I'm going to change it to 1/4 of an inch. Now I did this in the previous class. Yours may not have been saved, so I'm going to hit Duplicate Text. I'm going to call it Section Text number 1. Hit OK, and then I'm going to change the size to 1/4 inch. So now we're good. Let's go ahead and put a leader in. I'll do this one more time. I'm going to put one in for my footing. So I'm going to go to Text, this guy, whoops. I'm going to select my footing. I'm going to come out here, and I want to click so that these things are lined up nicely, and I'm going to say 10-inch by 24-inch concrete footing. And these things should start to line up. Now, what I'd like you to do is add some more components that are going to fill in this area, and then I would like you to add some insulation. I'm going to show you how to do one more piece, and then I'm going to set you free to work on your own for a bit. The next thing I want to show you how to do under Annotate is we can add a